Y'all already know what's going on. Attitude Era Podcast. We are back in the building. The usual suspects are in the building. My guy Archie Carter here. My guy King HP in the building. Yours truly DNA. You know what I mean? We in hibernation mode, back to school, all that. Not getting haircuts on the grind, but we are here. Another episode of Double Up. If y'all did not subscribe to the YouTube channel, make sure y'all do so now. Hit the notifications, hit the share button. Make sure you like all our videos. Go to our playlist, watch all our interviews, watch our hot tags, watch our double ups, watch our live recaps. And also, if you want to be official member of the Attitude Era Podcast family, we ain't gonna hold you up. Make sure you get that YouTube membership where you can see all the exclusive shows that we got on the channel, behind the scenes, early access to episodes and interviews with your favorite wrestlers. So make sure y'all tap into that YouTube membership or that Patreon. But today, we got to interview this Hall of Famer. We got to interview this legend on the Attitude Era Podcast. So it's only right, part of Mick Foley's Appreciation Week, we do a double up on the iconic three faces of Foley: Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and Mankind. Before we start the double up, right, I just want to ask y'all this, because I feel like when we pick which character is the best, that's just going to go off of, you know what I mean, in King HP words, the analytics, the stat sheet. But sometimes the stat sheet don't match with how you personally feel. So who's y'all favorite Mankind persona? Like, if we just going off record, just who did y'all enjoy, you know what I mean, him as the most?
Personally, I like the original Mankind. One with the vignettes, who was in that basement somewhere that we never know where the location was at, pulling out his hair, talking about on the 8th day. Like, he was wild.
Who you like, Archie?
I mean, that Mankind character did something to me as a kid, bro. It scared me, but I like Cactus Jack.
Jack. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That's why, even with a podcast, it's always good to do these double ups to get to the bottom of it, because my favorite character is Dude Love.
Really?
Yes, it is. Now, will he get his jersey hung up in the Raptors?
I got a feeling this might be the first three-way split, so we're going to need the listeners, the watchers, the subscribers. We might need some help with this one. Mm-hmm. But we're going to see at the end how this goes. You don't know how this works? We do 1 minute of each character, the pros, 1 minute of the cons. Then at the end, we debate, and we all take a vote to which character we think was the best, and we hang that jersey in the Attitude Era Double Up Hall of Fame. Real simple, straight to the point. And DNA, you ready to go?
Yeah. Let's
right. Who are we doing up first?
We're gonna start with the character that was first, even though it was the last character to hit WWE. Cactus Jack. That was the first character.
All right. You are on the clock. Go.
Cactus Jack took hardcore to a whole nother level. That's what his name imprinted. That's what it stood for. So I feel in that own right, the character itself is legendary, because it took hardcore wrestling to the next level in WCW and WWE. ECW is known for Extreme Wrestling, but in the other two companies, Cactus Jack brought that. Cactus Jack had that iconic match with Triple H for the belt. He also had that iconic entrance in WWE when nobody even ever saw the character in WWE in 1997 in Madison Square Garden. When he came out on the Titantron, that was iconic. So the character already had longevity just based on the hype around him, which was great. The feud with Terry Funk, winning the tag team belts at WrestleMania versus the New Age Outlaws in the dumpster match, and winning the hardcore belt in WWE as well. So Cactus Jack was he was definitely a character that staple for somebody that had multiple personalities. You remember that character?
Time. All right, HP, you got me.
Yes, sir.
Need you to give me
and nope.
Before it was WCW, Cactus Jack was in ECW. And Cactus Jack made his WCW debut attacking Sting. Then he had stories with Van Hammer, Abdullah the Butcher, Vader. Like, he was a tag team champ with Kevin Sullivan. And he even did a cross promotion with ECW, taking the WCW titles to ECW, and he spit on them. And that got him in a little trouble. And but Cactus Jack, to me, hardcore. it was something I never seen before as a kid. This man sacrificed his body. He lost a piece to his ear in WCW. Vader put him out of action. He tried to perform surgery on himself, on his knee. I don't know how Mick Foley did this, Cactus Jack or whatever, but Cactus Jack and Terry Funk, two of my all-time favorites as a team, and just seeing what Cactus Jack did, like he sacrificed his body for years. And like I said, it started that way, then it ended that way in WWE. But to me, Cactus Jack, the flannel shirts, the bang bang, it was simple but effective. And a lot of times in wrestling, we do too much, but simple and effective works in wrestling, and that's what Cactus Jack was, and it worked for me. So it felt like longer than a minute, HP.
It was. I was listening and looking, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
I'm selling.
We ain't gonna say what the time
baby.
was.
This is double up. You see what I'm saying? Your
We
opinion
ain't gonna say what the
change.
time was. I was like, "Oh man, I'm trying to re-put my notes."
You ready?
There might have been a little overtime on that.
It's all good.
I'm just gonna reset it and wipe that time off.
I got you. You ready to go? Let me know.
Yes.
And go.
All right. So we got Cactus Jack, and I like his I like his WWE run because I felt like people already knew him from what he previously did, which obviously we did, right? But there was other characters. He was like when he wins the tag championships with Chainsaw Charlie, Terry Funk. So that brings light to Terry Funk. So now he done brought the old homie, his big homie back, and he brought him to the forefront. Him winning the hardcore championships and him with his feuds, him with Triple H at Royal Rumble is crazy. And that's where you start seeing the barbed wire start coming out. WWE was not ready for this. You know what I mean? Like they really weren't. So when you start to see Cactus Jack do that with the flannel and he's bringing Bang Bang and how the crowd embraced him, he came into WWE at a high level. He came in going for the World Heavyweight Championship of WWE against Triple H.
Time. All right. Those are the pros of Cactus Jack. Now we got to get to the cons. DNA, it's on you.
Cactus Jack, I feel like this is probably the only character out of the ones that he had that actually could have had just as long as a run as Mankind. So I would have to say a con for me is that in WWE, the character, that was the most popular it had short runs. It was never anything extensive. It was like always a few months and then it revert back to Mankind. So short runs, I feel like that didn't allow the character to, reach the potential ceiling that it could have. And also, just the thing that we always say in this double up, he never had that championship belt. They put him in those matches to get it and obtain it. But for whatever reason, Cactus Jack just never won the World Heavyweight Championship. So to me, that's always a con. When you have a personality, a character that's over in the company, people are rocking with them. They in the main event picture, but somehow they just never get that gold. It always leaves. Good night.
Here you go. Right. Let's see. Ready?
Yes.
I'm on?
Yes.
Okay. With Cactus Jack, you never really kind of knew because it was injuries in WCW or was it injuries? He got frustrated with the company, was taken off TV. It was a lot of you don't know with him, but like DNA said, in the WWE run, it was you got little doses of it, and it could have had a very long shelf life based on what it did prior. He, because of course, I don't know where people have the Cactus Jack character, but you had some other tough characters he was up against. You say we got three faces of Foley. This is a rare case where you have somebody who have three equally dope characters that appeal to different audiences. But I think the Cactus Jack character appealed to the younger me, but the younger me then was like the older generation who liked the Dory Funk Juniors, the Terry Funks, and the Cactus Jack. But other than that, I could say it should have been more Cactus Jack in WWE. All right.
Time? Okay. This time I wasn't gonna go over. We're gonna
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Go.
So a lot of the same type of sentiment, but I'm gonna also add this. I feel like Cactus Jack was brought out to be the big gun for Mankind, and yet he doesn't, to me, have the best matches out of all the hardcore matches. So it's almost as if what you bring your big gun for, and your big gun ain't even got to remember maybe but one match or so, maybe two, but your alter egos have more memorable matches in hardcore positions. So it's almost like there was no need to bring that character out. Secondly, we brought him out for the high level, but didn't ever win those high level all eyes on these matches. And I think that, to me, I think that pushes you back, because when you bring someone of that magnitude to be in the top spot, you gotta get something, even if it's a mid-tier title, world title, but something in the singles run to win out.
That's that. That's Cactus Jack. Who's up next, DNA?
Dude Love.
All right.
Man.
Okay.
You good?
Okay.
Yeah.
And go.
Dude Love. I feel like this showed a different side of Mick Foley, which I feel like was great. The versatility. This was a fun character. This showed his comedic side. This actually was the first character that was created by Mick Foley that he created in his backyard, but it actually was not the first that was brought out. Mankind was the first. But Dude Love actually is a tag team champion with Stone Cold. Dude Love also he is. Dude Love also had a big feud with Stone Cold in 1998. He worked with Vince McMahon, and I'm also going to give Dude Love, which I should have gave Cactus Jack, but that Royal Rumble appearance, that epic appearance where Mick Foley popped out as all three in the 1998 Royal Rumble. So just to see Dude Love be a part of that, to me, it was a fun character, because I didn't even think Mick Foley could do that. So that's probably why I got drawn to the character, just on versatility.
There you go. All right. Ready, HP?
Yes.
Got me?
Yes. Ready? I always think I'm in 1 second.
All right.
Go.
If you said you never put your hands on your knees and try to do that stupid Dude Love dance as a wrestling fan, you are lying. Dude Love is the perfect example of you never know what's going to work. This shouldn't have worked, but it worked. Like DNA said, it showed a totally different side of this hardcore man missing teeth. He's missing pieces of his ear. He's wrestling with barbed wire. His tag team partner name was Chainsaw Charlie. But here we have Dude Love, and seeing the footage of him being a kid jumping off of the house. It's like, man, it was such a good thing, because it's like this man kind of manifested this and made this thing a thing that never probably was going to see the light of day. Because I'm sure during his life, people said Dude Love wasn't going to work, and Dude Love worked. It was fun. It was exciting. And I laughed because he did have tag team title with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and titles is what matter in wrestling. And Dude Love is a tag team champion with Stone Cold Steve Austin. HP, you ready?
Yes, sir.
And go.
So, Dude Love, we get the year 1998. It's he's in the conversation for MVP of 1998. DNA alluded to his Royal Rumble appearance. He wins tag titles in 98. He has one of the biggest feuds in 1998 with the same man that he won the tag team titles, that he holds the tag team titles with, the hottest man in the company, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And sometimes when you're close to fire, you can catch flame too. And this is one of the things that happens with Dude Love. Everything is in the right place at the right time. I always thought he was just Shawn Michaels ripoff, but he comes out, he's not. I mean, he is over the top, the dance and the knees and all that, but he ends up he puts on good matches. All the matches are quality. He's also trying to deliberately not be like Cactus Jack or Mankind, so he doesn't have the same moveset. He's not doing the hardcoreness. So you get a good side of Mick Foley.
All right. That was the pros of Dude Love. Now it's the cons. Have mercy. DNA, it's on you.
Hey. Yeah, man. Even though the character was fun, the character was going like a bad habit. The character was around for maybe 90 days. Vince McMahon fired him after he couldn't get the job done with Stone Cold, and we never seen him again. which I felt like was crazy. I feel like through all the years of him coming back out of retirement in the commission, at some point we should have seen the character again. So it kind of tarnishes the legacy of it, because it's like, why was he gotten rid of? Like, it makes it almost seem like it was a bad character. And I mean, he didn't win big belts. He was only in one main storyline, and he wasn't even around long enough really to, you know what I mean, say anything other than it was just a good time. Like, it was almost like a skit. So, you know what I mean, the character not having, longevity affected, because this is probably the shortest run of an alter ego I've ever seen. Good night.
All right. Same thing. It was short, but sweet, but short. It was a lot that went into this character. I mean, he had merch. He had videos of him being a kid. He had you. It was a fall from grace, to be honest, because like you say, the hottest man in the company, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You standing next to him, holding a title, and then you're gone. That's wrestling, folks. Sometimes one day you're hot, one day you're not. And I wish we got a little more of it, because I was that kid at home who took the marker and drew the heart on the t-shirt. And you know what I'm saying? I was an impressionable kid, man. So Dude Love, I would have liked to see more of him, but we didn't. But again, Dude Love is something a lot of people can't say they were or ever will be. He's a tag team champion with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And honestly, if that was me, I would be cool with that. But again, I would like to see more of him, because like HP said, he was a totally different character than Mankind. So, but more love, baby. More love is all I got to say. HP, it's on you. Go.
So, Dude Love, the problem I have with it is the fact that he doesn't do much outside of the Stone Cold, right? It's like literally he's in a tag team with Stone Cold, and he's beefing with Stone Cold, which is going with the McMahon. Let me slide back over here. The McMahon regime, and then at the same time, after a while, he vanishes, right? On top of that, because his character was built in the same mold as like a Ravishing Rick Rude or a Val Venus or a Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, who at this time is absent from the company. Uh, this would have been a good, it was a good character fill-in for almost like parody. Like, remember Weird Al Yankovic used to have parodies of, like, you know what I'm saying? But those he used to have videos that would go number one. I felt like that's what Dude Love was. And so let's put him in those heartthrob battles that you would see maybe with like a Val Venus, and you could have because Rick Martel and Shawn Michaels did something like that where he couldn't hit the guy in the face. But we know McFoley's, he's missing teeth and stuff.
Good night.
All right. Who's next? That was the pros and cons of Dude Love. So, one more.
Mankind.
And go.
Mankind. Mankind has one of the most legendary matches in wrestling history, with the Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker in 1998. Mankind is responsible for the first ever Buried Alive match, the first ever Boiler Room match. Mankind took the demonic, gory character to the next level. Mankind is a tag team champion winner. Mankind is a WWF, WWE champion. And Mankind also is a part of history when Eric Bischoff told everybody to go tune into Raw, because Mankind was going to beat The Rock. And it was the most highest rated Raw during the Monday Night Wars, which shifted to make WWE beat WCW. So that's all Mankind. It's all credited to him. And with that being said, Archie and HP, have a nice day.
All right. Everything about the Mankind character scared the shit out of me as a kid. I never thought a man saying the word mommy would terrify me. Mankind was I still don't know what Mankind was, but like DNA said, he was a champion. He is a part of some of the biggest moments in WWE, and it started with him being in the boiler room and all brown with the mask, pulling his hair out. Like, this was different. This is probably one of the best debuts we've ever seen with this character, because I didn't see anything like this ever in wrestling. And when I saw it, I immediately was locked into it. And I was like, yo, this dude is crazy. Whoever's wrestling him, I don't see how you beat him. And the character was good. The story was good. Mankind, like I said, and then the mandible claw, bro. Like, bro, everything about this, whoever put this character together, bravo, kudos to you, because Mankind was put together, packaged, and delivered well. HP, it's on you.
Ready?
Go.
Boom. So there's not really a good starting point, but we're gonna start with Mankind debuting the day after WrestleMania 12. We got all those vignettes, and when he comes out, who does he target? The Undertaker. Straight to walking back down the aisle. We had seen this man come out for weeks talking about on the 8th day the Lord rested. But now we seen him and the first thing he do is stick those two fingers with that black tape down the throat, and we start seeing wrestlers throwing up. And that solidified it. He was off to the races. And then we start going to the boiler room brawl. Then, with that character, he also gets world title opportunities against Shawn Michaels at Mind Games, which is one of Shawn Michaels' best matches during that first championship run and of his career, because it's even in the DVD for best Shawn Michaels matches. Then on top of that, he reinvents himself. He becomes a more comedy character. He becomes first becomes corporate, but then he starts to become that where he has the button up and he's trying to do this and he has the sock with the Mr. Socko. So he evolved.
All right.
Mankind.
Those are the pros. Here are the cons. DNA's on you. Go.
The only thing I could say about the Mankind character was that I just feel like a lot of times the way they perceived them, the high moments were high, but the downs were down. The downs, what I mean by that is like the company, sometimes the way they wrote the story was almost like he was a joke. And I feel like the character was so much more than to be looked at as that. Like, where I feel like his image got tainted into some of the storylines that they put him in. Like, when you look at it, it's like certain things they had Mankind doing, you would never have somebody of that caliber do, because you never seen The Rock do it. You never seen Stone Cold do it. You never saw Triple H do it, or Shawn Michaels, which kind of devalued the character. At the same time, with all his accolades, people still don't kind of put him in that class unless you run down the accolades because of how the company may have threw him in the storyline or portrayed him in the wrong way. So that's the only downside, because he has the longevity, he has the championships, he has the accolades. Good night.
All right. To piggyback off of that, it kind of got a little silly sometimes. Mr. Socko was cool, but was it? Rock and Sock was cool, but was it? What wasn't cool was those chair shots that The Rock gave him in that I Quit match. That's something that I think about with certain wrestlers, because Mankind is one of those wrestlers that said if he had to do it again, he probably wouldn't do it the same way. He took a lot of damage. He's missing teeth. He's missing ears. His teeth ended up in his nose during a match. And the only con I would say is that, aside from me getting silly, this man was in a car wreck every night for our entertainment. And I would ask anybody to do that. We enjoyed it. But again, it got a little silly toward the end, to where this man that was introduced as this thing I still can't describe was reduced to flannel shirts and sweatpants. So, like I said, toward the end, it got a little silly, but legendary still, and you can't take away the career. And Ric Flair, no, he was not a glorified stuntman. He's a wrestler.
Ric Flair,
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's like leading up to their match too, but he was serious too.
They had heat for real. So
yeah. Yes, sir.
Go.
I love the brown Mankind. I almost don't even have a con. It's the corporate white shirt Mankind that lets me down. And the reason I say that is because characters do evolve, and it was great that he did. However, the way he evolved was so far from where he started. They never went back to it. And I thought that there was traces of like the Undertaker and stuff like that, because Undertaker is a very similar character to him. He was impervious to pain, but Mankind was thrilled by the pain. And then it just got to like he was a joke with The Rock. And even though they did have great success and Mankind was one of the top guys in the company, they used him for a lot of the like, well, let's just sell violence. I got a guy. And again, the car wreck for our amusement is what we got. The chair shots in the I Quit match. The King of the Ring Hell in a Cell. As much as we love that match, he dislocated his shoulder. He broke I think it was like something with his interior. The nose, the tooth hanging out, like all this damage this man has taken, and that stuff causes problems to the body. So when he becomes this comedic character with the white shirt and then the sacco, we lose those real like people taking him serious. And I think even though he didn't have gold in the brown shirt, he was more serious, better.
The three faces of Foley. Now we gotta take a vote, folks. Who was the best character out of Cactus Jack, Mankind, Do Love, DNA? The vote is on you.
Man, I hate, man, this oath that I made it myself by keeping it real, man. If I was a fraudulent person, man, I'd go with Do Love, man, because hey, I love the Do Love character. Hey, but you got to keep it 100, man. You got to keep it $1. We keeping it $1, man. The argument is not with Do Love. Do Love, I like the character, but like we said, it didn't have enough, you know, longevity in the company. So the argument is Cactus Jack and Mankind. And it's a tough one because they both were innovative. They both changed the landscape of certain things in their own right. But for me, I'm a guy where the accolades stand out more, and Mankind just got too many accolades. Mankind had the longest run as the character. Mankind is the only one of the characters that won the WWF Championship. Mankind is in that legendary Hell in a Cell match. Mankind is responsible with that episode with Eric Bischoff with the ratings. Mankind is the only one that teamed up with The Rock and had a legendary tag team with The Rock and Sock Connection. Mankind goes in the Hall of Fame. Good night.
As much as I love Cactus Jack, Terry Funk, and all that stuff, I gotta agree with DNA. Every album your favorite artist ain't gonna put out ain't gonna be hot when they have a long career. And that's just kind of what this is. He came in hot as Mankind toward the end and got a little weird. The spray painted referee shirts, it just in our previous episodes, same thing I kind of mentioned about the Big Show. Once you become a comedy act in WWE late in your career, it's hard to escape that. But them first years of Mankind, I was terrified. I was afraid. I was scared of this man. I never wanted to meet him, but I did meet him, and he's not that bad of a guy. So Mankind is my vote. HP, we gonna sweep it, or you gonna throw the curveball? What you got, HP?
Yeah, I think it's I'll say this right off the rip. I eliminate Dude Love because he has a short time frame, even though his time frame he's very impactful. Like I said, 1998, he's in the running for MVP. But Cactus Jack, Mankind. Now this is interesting because I love Mankind, right? Especially the beginning. He does have the most accolades. He has it's arguable one that King of the Ring 98 is probably it's always going to get mentioned for wrestling fans, non-wrestling fans, casuals. But let's not sleep on Cactus Jack because Mankind doesn't make it to the WWE without Cactus Jack and who he was because that's a development to the character. You know, we talk about like Cactus Jack was a tag team champ. ECW he won tag team gold. WCW he won tag team gold. Technically in WWF he won tag team gold because he won it with Chainsaw Charlie as the Cactus Jack character. Big Van Vader matches, Terry Funk matches, ECW. He's got matches with Sabu and Sandman. And this is what make the character who you know. So when they do the Mankind thing, it's believable because all the hard work. I don't want to say it paid off in WCW. I think it paid off in WWE. However, yo, Mankind versus Shawn Michaels, Mankind versus The Rock, Mankind versus The Undertaker. I have to vote the man with that leather mask, Mankind. My preferable favorite is the brown suit. Impervious, like he enjoyed pain. He wasn't impervious. It's Mankind, man. This is sweet, man. I gotta go 3-0, man. They chanting from the crowds, man. 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. But shout out to Cactus Jack, bro.
There you have it.
With that being said, we put Mankind's jersey in the Double Up Hall of Fame Raptors. Now, what I want everybody here to do is check out this clip from Mick Foley himself when I personally asked him on the podcast what was his favorite character out of the three faces of Foley.
Do you have a favorite one of your characters? Or do you love them all equally, kind of like children?
Well, here's the thing. It is kind of like children in the sense that I love being Cactus Jack in the ring. I love being Mankind behind the scenes doing the stuff with The Rock. Dude Love, he was almost like the stepchild that didn't get enough love, but since I started doing cameo videos, and you can catch me at cameo.com/McFoley, love doing Dude Love because he can do silly stuff, he can sing songs, he can be, he's a guy who basically portrays himself as being about 3 times cooler than he actually is. Yeah. And that's it's fun to play.
And now that y'all seen that, we are back concluding this episode of Double Up. And don't think that was just one clip that we had. That's a whole full interview that drops this Sunday with Mick Foley on the Attitude Era podcast. So please go tap into that. Go watch that interview now. Hit the notification button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Make sure you comment on all the videos. And that is another episode of Double Up. Good night.
Have a nice day.
This is DNA, and y'all checking out my show Top 5. You got a top 5? I got a top 5. But let's see whose top 5 is better. Good night. Good night.
Brr, it's cold food with D. Archie Carter. A wrestling match, a return, a battle, something that you were looking forward to because you knew it was going to be hot. And when you got it, well, it wasn't. That's cold food, and I'm here to talk about it. It's cold food with D. Archie Carter. Hey, waiter, this cold.
King HP, and here we're gonna look at wrestlers that couldn't get the job done. We're gonna look at it. Why didn't they win? What happened? And because it's near fall, we're gonna see if we can get them some gold. Remember, the referee's decision is final.